It's a Tuesday. It's a Tuesday. Hey guys, and welcome to this week's installment of Tuesdays with Lauri. My name is Lauri Laukkanen and I'm one of the editors of SLR Lounge. You can also find me on Facebook at Lauri Laukkanen Photography. In this week's installment of Tuesdays with Lauri, we're going to be taking a look at my latest photograph. We're going to open up Photoshop and take a look at the photograph layer by layer, and along the way I'm going to explain what I did and why I did what I did. With that said, let's open up Photoshop and let's get started. So here you guys can see the finished image, and here you guys can see the image straight out of the camera. So as you guys can see, again, I've done quite a lot to this image in Photoshop. We've color graded this image actually several times. I've done some sharpening, some creative blurs, and added a bit of smoke of my own. So let's start and take a look at the layers one by one. The first layer I have here is a hue and saturation layer that turns the black smoke into a more greenish hue. So I click it on, you guys can see how the black smoke around these areas here just turns into a more greenish hue. Then I have a darken highlights layer, which I used the levels layer, and this just darkens the highlights in the sky. So I'm trying to make this look a bit more like a night shot. And then the next layer I have is a texture, which I use to texturize the sky. So only the bright areas around here and here have this texture on them. So that's what I have here. Then I did the first color grade using the curves adjustment layer. So as you guys can see, let's open up this curves adjustment layer here and open up the different channels. I've added a bit of blue into the shadows, taken quite a lot of blue away from the midtones, which means I added a bit of yellow into the midtones and took away some yellow from the highlights as well. Then I have the green channel, where I actually didn't do much. I only took away some of or added a bit of green into the highlights. Then I have the red channel, where I've just added a tiny bit of red into the midtones and the darker areas, and took away some of the reds in the highlights. So that's what I did in the first color grade. Then I have a curves adjustment layer that I use to brighten up the image overall just a tiny bit. So that's what I have here. And then I have a dodge and burn folder, which has two curves adjustment layers, the dodge and the burn layers. So that's what we have here in this folder. Let's close this folder. Then I have a desaturation layer. So I use the hue and saturation panel and just pull down the saturation on the master channel in order to desaturate the image just a tiny bit. Then I have a stamped visible layer, which has an iris blur applied onto it. So now when I click on this layer, you guys can see, if you look at these areas around the edges of the image, I've used the iris blur to kind of blur those areas and to get the main focus in my photo on the guy here and the smoke around this area. Then we have a second color grade, again using the curves adjustment panel, just getting some finishing touches to the color grade. Again, we can open this up and take a quick look. Took away some blues from the midtones, added a bit of greens to the midtones and highlights, and added quite a bit of red into the midtones, as you might have guessed looking at this image, how we have a bit more red in the image. Then I have a hue and saturation layer, as I wanted to change the color of the smoke from this orangey color to a bit more yellowish tone. So that's what I have here. And then I added a bit of my own smoke around the image, so that's what we have here, to kind of get a nice symmetrical look. So that's what I have here. Then we have a stamp visible, which I use to apply a smart sharpen. So that's what we have here. It just sharpens up the image. And then I have a high pass sharpen layer here, which I used to actually also add a bit of noise into the blurred areas, which I got when I used the iris blur. So that's the first folder with the first edits. Then I wanted to go with a movie look for this image, so I created a movie crop, which means a 16:9 crop and these black bars up and down. So that's what I have in this folder. And now we're almost done already. The last 4 or 5 layers that I have here are just some tiny fixes. So I desaturated the yellows using the hot hue and saturation panel, and used the layer mask, as you can see here, using the brush tool to kind of make it more organic. So that's what I have here, just desaturating some of the yellow parts around the image. Then I have a brighten highlights layer, again using the curves adjustment panel. So that's a very tiny change, as you guys can see. Then I have a stamp visible, and I thought I was almost done, but then I understood I wanted to sharpen up this guy just a tiny bit more. So I did a selective sharpen using the high pass sharpen tool, and then just masked this area. So now this area is a bit more sharper than the rest of the image. And finally, I saw this yellow thing here, which I thought I wanted to get rid of, so I used the clone stamp tool to get rid of that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the finished product. Let's just take a quick look at the before and after one more time. Bring the image here and then here. So that's the image straight out of camera, and this is the image after the editing was finished. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's installment of Tuesdays with Lauri. And as always, if you have any questions or requests for future episodes, just leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to help you all out. With that said, if you enjoyed this week's video, make sure to like, share and subscribe, and see you guys again next Tuesday. Bye.